Oh, come on, there we go. Here at the Net Neutrality action in downtown Houston in front of the lovely Verizon retail store with plenty of people whose signs speak for themselves for the most part. We know, of course, that this is ahead of the net neutrality action that's coming up in the near future, particularly on the 14th. We also are right here near the lovely Houston light rail, so it's making a little bit of noise here as well. This is a rally of the people, if you will, so I want to make sure that, of course...
We're getting ready to change the rules about net neutrality on the internet. How the internet can be charged for and everything.
Right. Nobody
and if they changes that...
Just for grins, I don't know what you're talking about.
You gotta read the news then.
So you need to do a better job at it.
We'd be happy to tell you. Okay. Check out the FCC regulations. Just click Google. That's all right. Google searching will be one of those things that may be in the past if this goes through, as we all know. You are live with Facebook Nation, which is the equivalent of currently 5 people and counting at this point. How many out here are students?
Yes.
We have students. How many out here are not students? How many out here are small business owners or know a small business owner? All right, we got a few of those. At rallies like this, and can you all hear me, by the way? Yeah. Okay, good stuff. So I may not need these megaphones. Hi, Al. I just wanted to say also, at rallies like these are rallies of the people. So I am a loudmouth, and I do talk, and I do have an addiction to amplified devices that I tend to try to get over at these things, which is why I have 2 of them on hand. But beyond that, I should not be the only one who speaks today because I think that a few other people might have opinions on this. Is that the case?
The revolution will be streamed.
Something like that, yes. So throughout all of this, if you do have something to say about net neutrality, there are megaphones here. I do not think that we should be the only ones who are hearing this. In fact, I think all of the people around here should be hearing this, because if you ask me, this is an assault on access, it is an assault on information, and it is a matter of class equality and class inequality, if you will. So I'm going to say a few things, and then I'm going to give up the filibuster stage, because that's the way that these kinds of actions should work, if you ask me at least. So, very briefly, I'd just like to say that the point of why this action came together, the point of why this action came together in the first place, and it's listed online, is twofold. One of those folds has come in the last few days because of the political headwinds, if you will. The first thing is, as we know, the FCC is looking to destroy net neutrality regulations, particularly Title I and II. Are we going to let them?
No!
Are we going to fight them?
Yes!
Are we going to win?
Yes!
There's one other thing that is worth knowing. As many of you know, the FCC took commentary through a very, very difficult process that was through an online form, which is what I would call malicious compliance, because it's extremely difficult to fill out. So difficult to fill out that John Oliver himself put together an action through a direct link URL known as gofccyourself.com.
Yeah.
Now, the reason he used that direct link, as funny as it is that he wanted to make it easy for us to fill out the form. Because who filled out a comment on that form? All right, if you did, you saw it was freaking hard. And because it was freaking hard, there were less people who were able to weigh in. But on top of that, we found out that there were thousands of fake comments that were put together by bots, trolls, or whatever it may be. Is that acceptable?
No.
Is that transparent?
No.
Is that democracy?
No.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is
Few people know the chant. There we go.
Change the government.
So, at the end of the day, we need to have an accountable process. We need to have a transparent process in government, which means that this FCC net neutrality fight has bled over into that. So not only are we directly petitioning the FCC, including and particularly with the backing of 2 of the 5 members on the FCC board, who are urging us to stop them from destroying net neutrality, but also directly talking to our congressional representatives. Now, who's called your congressional representative over net neutrality? All right, that's okay. There's other hands. There you go. Okay. So look, if you have not called your congressional representative, please do. Call Ted Cruz, call John Cornyn, call your House rep. We have an application, because of course you're doing a net neutrality process, so well, correct. But every time we tie up their phone lines, they spend less time doing RNC fundraising and more time talking to us. And beyond that, if they do get enough political pressure and something does become hot button enough, a lot of times they still have to do things on it. Net neutrality is not like some direct wedge issue between the two parties. It is something that we can pressure our reps on, particularly House reps who have been getting shellacked. Keep in mind that the majority, the people if you will, are with us, not with the FCC, not with Ajit Pai, not with corporate interests, not with Verizon, not with Comcast, and not with their lobbyists in Washington, D.C. and their ivory towers. They're with the people in the streets. They're with us. So keep in mind, when you put pressures on your reps, there are other people already putting pressure on your reps. I will tell you, if you want to discuss it, Indivisible Houston has an application that makes that easy. It's called Amplify. We'll post it in the event, but if you want to discuss it today, you can download it right here on the spot, because since it's a net neutrality protest, we all are super fancy, technologically advanced people on the streets, or at least we like to play that on TV, if you will. So there's two actions. One, directly go to the FCC comment page and make sure you weigh in and make sure to lobby the FCC. But two, make sure to contact your senators and your House rep. Raise your hand if you know who your House rep is. That's okay. If you don't know who your House rep is, it's okay, because we can find out today. And if you don't like their positions, what can we do in November of 2018?
Vote them out.
Vote them out. So, that is what I have to say about this. Chris Bronk, our net neutrality expert, is currently at UH as part of a planning meeting. If you showed up in the last minute or two, he's going to be speaking again in a week. So he's not out on the streets today, but he can tell you more about net neutrality at that event, and I'll be happy to trade notes about that. But I'm going to drop the metaphorical microphone for just a moment. Does anybody have something that they want to say? It's okay, don't be shy. Come on out. What's your name?
Sean.
Sean. Would you like to pick up the megaphone, Sean?
Yeah, somebody can.
Let's make sure that everybody else can hear you out here. Grab one of these.
I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how many of y'all have ever read my blog. It's called rantroulette.com. Has anybody ever read an entry on there even once? I posted a post today trying to get the word out. I've been pro net neutrality since before it was cool. So, and I'm one of the ones affected. That blog and the other one, Comcast can say in a week, you know, if they vote to strip Title II, they can decide, okay, if you want the rest of the internet, you get to pay an extra $20 a month. You know, that's every.
Boo.
Yeah, that would suck. Pardon my French, but that would really suck. So, I mean, we got to keep the pressure on. We can't let them ruin our internet. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Agree?
How many of you are familiar with the Beto O'Rourke campaign?
Sure.
Nobody. Really. He's running against Ted Cruz in 2018. So, if Ted Cruz sticks to his guns and stays with Team Cable, then y'all know what to do. Vote for Beto. That's simple. Beto.
Thank you, Sean. Woo! Sean, what happens to your business if you're charged more for internet to keep your blog going?
There's a very real possibility the blog goes poof.
The blog goes down. So basically, you're saying net neutrality is the first line of defense for the First Amendment for you.
Exactly.
All right. Anybody else got a blog? Just curious. No? We got a blogger? Or someone else? Or someone who wants to say something? Yeah, no, come on. Yeah. Do you want a megaphone? I want to make sure that people can hear you, if that's okay. All you got to do is grab the trigger and then just squeeze. Kind of like you would with a blender or hairdryer or whatever.
Thank you.
And then you
Hey,
just
everyone.
speak close.
My name is Ashley, and I support net neutrality because I'm a struggling trader. I haven't made it yet, but I will one day. And if they kill net neutrality, I won't be able to. I'll have to pay extra money to access trading sites, to get information, news around the world, and they are working to prevent that from happening. So, net neutrality.
Net neutrality! Remember, speak right into that thing and just push the button on the handle.
All right, so my name is Ivan, and I'm a student over at UHC right down the street. Studying social work, and a lot of it deals with, right now, what the situation is a public good for the public good that is being taken away. I am a subscriber to research, and I'll do a lot of research on scumbag activities of policymakers. This is one of those scumbag activities that I find going on, and it's affecting me in a big way. If they decide to block any information that they disagree with, that takes away from my abilities to give good resources for people to look upon to teach themselves about what's going on in their lives. So this is a big deal to me. I hope it doesn't pass, guys. It's really crossing my fingers. Aside from that, there's other things, like I'm a broke-ass student already. I don't need to pay extra for things that I need, like internet. All right, if anybody else wants it, I've said my piece. Thank you.
Thank you. The People's Megaphone. Does anyone else have something to add? Come on up.
Just squeeze this, right?
Yep, just squeeze and talk close.
Y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. My name's Mark. I am a student down at the Central Campus. I'm here with my friend and roommate over there, Jordan. Say hi, Jordan.
Hello. Hi, Jordan.
And I believe that a free and open internet is very important, not just because it is one of the greatest ways that we can spread our opinions, learn about other opinions, and generally access information that should be a right to all, but because it's also a very important economic resource for very many people. Not only is information power, and it gives us the ability to better ourselves and in many ways make money, but it's also very important for many tech industries to have a free and open internet and not be bullied by companies who can essentially impose their will on whoever they want by slowing down and blocking access to sites that they don't like, and basically creating an extortion racket out of the internet. So, yeah, I believe in net neutrality for our freedom of information and for our competitive internet market.
Thank you, Mark. Woo! Who likes democracy?
I do.
Who likes net neutrality?
I do.
Who believes that democracy is based partly on net neutrality at this point? Yeah, pretty much. Access to information is an equality battle. It is a resource battle. And given where we are today, we know that this is indeed a public good. The People's Megaphone is open. The People's Megaphone is indeed open for those who'd like to use it.
When the digital forum is not enough, we must take to the streets.
Nice. I like this. Very nice. Do you have something to say today as well? That neutrality is indeed good.
Which one's live? Which one's not?
Either one. They're both ready to roll. You might have to flick the switch on, but other than that.
Speak 2 times separately because I don't want people to think handmaids and March for Science is...
Oh, sure. Yeah. I'm going to intro you because does anyone know L Church? L Church is the Houston Tax March and March for Science organizer. So a round of applause for her if you wouldn't mind. All right, that works.
oh God, that's loud. Sorry. I'm here today with March for Science Houston, and I'm going to talk a little bit later about something else. But sorry, y'all. March for Science Houston obviously is very against this vote to take away net neutrality. It is critical to human life, almost on every front, kind of like the tax scam. I brought this Protect Higher Education sign that's over here. And if you'll notice, it also has the not one penny hashtag on it. Because both of these items are an attack on students. And as the gentleman said earlier, you have to have access these days to even go to lower education, right? We cannot allow this to stand. One of the things that March for Science is also doing is on Monday, we are asking folks to join us in a social media blackout. We've got a little frame you can put over your picture right now that grays you out and says you're going to take part. And we would love it if y'all would check it out. We are on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're all the places. So we're March for Science Houston. We are going to do a media blackout all day. So 12:01 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. We know Monday's a hard day for you to give up because you got to find all tea on that happened on the weekend from your friends. But we're asking you to give that up so people can have a look at what life will be like if we don't have access to all these services. And, I'm broke all the time, and I'm an adult out of school, so I don't have the money to pay for extra services. I cannot imagine what this will be like for grad students and those getting, their master's or their PhD. We can't allow this to happen, and I appreciate you guys for coming out here in the cold. It's not great, but y'all are badasses. Thank you so much.
Woo! Who's cold? Everybody! Me too! The bottom line is that this is how we actually take action, and this is how we make sure that there are pictures that come from this, and this is how we make sure that people know that there's pressure for all of this. There's something I'd like to add, and this is the people's megaphone, so I don't want to be the only one speaking today, and it's good that so far I haven't been. But raise your hand if you care about political issues beyond net neutrality as well. Yeah. Raise your hand if you've taken action on those issues. Yeah. Raise your hand if you use the internet to take that action. Yeah. So, this is a direct fight not only on internet access, not only on equality, not only on equal resources, but on every other political fight that you can find. Are we going to let them take that away from us? No! Are we going to fight? Yeah! Are we going to win? Yeah! Are we going to stop? No! Are we going to fight? Yeah! Are we going to win? Yeah! Are we going to stop? No! Are we going to fight? Yeah! Are we going to win? 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 Yeah! Damn right. People's megaphone. Does anyone have anything else to say? Students, small business owners, everyone. Just here, let's right there, and then you squeeze the trigger, then speak very close.
Hi everyone, this is Dominic. I'm from Germany. I came to the US for a year. I'm an IT consultant. So I really know what you're defending here, and you're not defending it for the US, you defend it for the whole world. I've listened to a podcast in Germany, and they recommended everybody who has a chance to join the protest against the FCC vote next week, because this is not just about the US. All the big internet companies are in the US, so this is the first war that we have to win. Otherwise, the net neutrality will be in danger in all countries worldwide. So I enjoy listening to podcasts who need net neutrality to be heard, and I'm very much appreciating what you guys are doing here.
Thank you, Dominic. Absolutely. Hey, how you doing? Pretty good. Speak close. That thing's finicky.
Okay, that's how it works. Okay, they say that by getting rid of net neutrality, it'll open up a free market for internet, but the fact of the matter is, there's only 3 internet providers. There is no competition. They've split up the country in a way that they're not competing with anybody. They're just trying to squeeze as much as they can out of the people who use their utility service, because the internet is a utility. It's like water or electricity. It's something you need to have to run a business, to communicate, and to function at pace in society with everybody else. I work as a journalist, and it matters to me being able to hold people accountable. The fact of the matter is, without net neutrality, ISPs will be able to cut off anyone who disagrees with them, and that is fundamentally wrong. So, go net neutrality, fuck Verizon!
Thank you, Greg. Democracy, not monopoly!
Democracy, not monopoly!
Good. I got some signs over here, guys, if you'll need any for sure.
Sure.
I'll take one. There were people walking in here.
Okay. We've been requested to make sure that there's a pathway, if you will, so let's, there you go. Because we don't want to block the path of users to the internet. Jokes like that will only go as far as this megaphone if net neutrality is not upheld. That might be for the better, but we won't say that to Congress. Remember, this is the people's megaphone. If anybody wants to join in, this is your opportunity. Protect net neutrality!
Yes!
Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! They're attacking the internet. They're trying to take it away. They're trying to monopolize it, which is why people are out here in the cold. Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! If you don't know what net neutrality is, make sure to Google it before the internet slows down. Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! Defend net neutrality! Yes! How many people here are active political chanters? I'm curious. You know, it's interesting because this is one of those actions where it's not the same faces that I see over and over again. It's a lot of people who understand that this is indeed a political issue and an important political issue. And this is one that's very, very focused. So here's a simple one. We'll teach you some political chants along the way. Why not, right? Because we're all here to learn, because we like the internet, and we like it because we're able to learn through it. And if they take it away, we won't be able to use it to do that. So let's learn a chant or two face-to-face here on the street, on live stream, as the internet allows. All you have to do after I say the following line is yell out, stand up, fight back. Ready? When the internet is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When the internet's under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When democracy is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When access to information is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When access to resources is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When education is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! 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 When Verizon puts the American people under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When Comcast puts the American people under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! When internet service provider monopolies put the American people under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back! 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 Stand up! Stand up! Fight back! 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 Damn right.
You have to keep the cash right through for people so they don't have to walk on the street.
Remember, the People's Megaphone is available. Would you like to step up to the People's Megaphone?
I'm just curious.
Yeah, okay, that works too.
All the way with JFK. All the way with JFK. Oh wait, what decade is that? My fucking bathroom must malfunction. Sorry.
We won't be able to find out about that little piece of political trivia without the internet. It's true. Down with the FCC! Up with democracy! Down with the FCC! Up with democracy! Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Remember, this is the People's Megaphone. If you've shown up late, you have an opportunity to step up to the People's Megaphone because that's the way actions are supposed to work, so don't be shy. There's so many of them.
Okay.
Remember, speak close to it and squeeze the button like a hairdryer.
When I was about 10, 11, it was hard for me to interface with people. I was an only child in a trailer park. Didn't really get along with any of the people or see things the way they did, just because I've kind of been alone. And I think the internet is a place for a lot of people
to find communities where they actually belong, where they finally feel like they can be part of something where they may never have felt that way before. That's how I felt for a long time, years and years, meeting some of my closest friends and even finding my first job off of people I had met online. That kind of organic creation of communities cannot happen in the controlled and corporate world that Verizon and Comcast want to create. What we have in the internet today is unheard of in modern capitalism. In decades before, in the 1980s, the media thought they had won. They thought they had completely controlled the message with a 24/7 news cycle. And the internet destroyed that, and they've been trying to claw their way back ever since. This is not going to be the last time we are out here. We are going to be out here when the youngest person here now is gray in their hair. And if we're not, that means we lost. So you better hope that you're coming out here next year and next year and next year in the rain and the cold, because they will not stop. So we can't either!
Thank you. That was a really important thing to say. Thank you for saying that. Raise your hand if you felt alone and used the internet to connect with other people.
How I met my husband.
Say that again?
How I met Chris.
Yeah, raise your hand if you've met... There you go. Have you ever got online relationships, right? People come together through the internet. It's important for people to understand that. It's important for people to understand that access to information has never been where it is today, and hopefully we can keep it there in the future. I really appreciate you saying that, by the way, because I think it's really important, and I think it's a human side of this that gets lost in all of this. So I appreciate you pointing that out. The people united will never be defeated! The people united will never be defeated! The people united
We'll never be defeated.
The people united
We'll never be defeated.
Only mildly divided on chance, I guess. That's okay. Remember, the people's megaphone is here. That means that if you have something to say, you'll have the opportunity to say it tonight. All on live stream. Speaking of which, if you have a smartphone in your pocket, and raise your hand if you do. All right, make sure to take plenty of pictures. Make sure to take plenty of video. Make sure to share those pictures and video with the press. Make sure to put them on social media. Not Monday when we have the blackout, but between now and Monday. Let people know what's going on in the streets, because this is happening at Verizon stores all across the United States. It's happening in public places all across the United States. It's happening in front of congressional offices all across the United States. You are not alone. We are not alone. The majority of the people are on our side on this. We know that. We've seen the polls. So it doesn't matter what Ted Cruz says. It doesn't matter what John Culberson says. It doesn't matter what Senator Cornyn says. It doesn't... It's a little crazy. It doesn't matter what anybody in Congress says. It doesn't matter what Ajit Pai says. It doesn't matter what Comcast says. It doesn't matter what Verizon says. It doesn't matter what the monopoly, oligarchy, ISP, price-fixing lobby has to say about it. The internet is free and must remain so. Are we going to fight?
Yeah.
Are we going to win?
Yeah.
Are we going to stop?
No.
Are we going to fight?
Yeah.
Are we going to win?
Yeah.
Are we going to stop?
No.
Are we going to fight?
Yeah.
Are we going to win?
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 Yeah.
Defend net neutrality!
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 Yeah.
Does anyone want to step up to the people's megaphone? It's okay, don't be shy. You're allowed to step up twice. Down with monopoly! Up with neutrality! Down with monopoly! Up
was to yell.
I'll leave it here.
Here is another. You want another?
Very stressful.
Okay. The people's megaphone is there for the people. Not the person. That's singular. I learned that before the internet. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Defend net neutrality. 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 All right, let's try a new one. Want a new one? All right. Up with neutrality, down with the FCC. Up with neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
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 Up with democracy!
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 Down with the FCC!
Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
By the way, we just got a comment on here that the internet keeps skipping. First, I know, right? Imagine a world. The people's megaphone is here. If you are a ham like me, or if you just have something to say, or both, then feel free to step up to the people's megaphone. Actions support the people. So if you have something to say, an internet experience to share or otherwise, this is your opportunity to say it. Everybody's so quiet. You're gonna go home and tweet about this.
I'll try something.
All right, let's hear it.
It's in the chant. How do you operate this?
You just kind of squeeze the button where you're, and then speak close.
Close, okay, got it.
Like watch where your mouth is to it, because sometimes it fades in and out.
Got it.
All right.
When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the internet is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Yes.
Woo! Woo! The people's megaphone is here. Step up to the people's megaphone if you'd like. Plenty to say. Plenty of time to say it. Not much time to live stream it unless we act now. Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! That's right. Who wants to keep democracy in Texas? Who wants to keep democracy in Houston? Who wants to keep democracy in the United States? Who wants to keep democracy in the world? When democracy's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When democracy's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When access to the internet's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality neutrality is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the First Amendment's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When access to information's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When net neutrality's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When access to the internet's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When free education's under attack, what do we do? What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
Stand up! Stand up!
Fight back.
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 When a G-Pie puts the people under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Verizon puts the people under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When Comcast puts the people under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
When the internet service oligarchy puts people under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back.
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 Damn right. I want to make this clear. We are not against the people in that store. No one here is against anybody in that store. Y'all are trying to make a living. It's not about y'all. It's absolutely about oligarchical internet monopolies trying to eliminate access to information and a Jeep pie and the crooked FCC. It's not y'all. Just letting y'all know that.
FCC.
Down with the FCC!
Down with the FCC.
Down with the FCC!
Down with the FCC.
We're on the half the chain over here. All right, down with the FCC. Up with neutrality. Yeah, or democracy. Okay, we'll do that. All right, how about this? How about this? I'll say up with something. We'll go down with the FCC. Does that work? Is that the same page? All right, let's try that. Up with neutrality!
Down with the FCC.
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 Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC.
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC.
Up with neutrality!
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 Down with the FCC.
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC.
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC.
Up with the internet!
Down with the FCC.
Up with the internet!
Down with the FCC.
Up with the people!
Down with the FCC.
Up with the people!
Down with the FCC.
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC.
Up with neutrality!
Down with the FCC.
Woo! I do want everyone to know today, I didn't think we would run into the FCC, or their lobbyists. But if we did, I came prepared. The only language they seem to speak is money, money, money.
Money, money, money.
Is that fair?
No.
Is that right?
No.
Is that democratic?
No.
Is that what our country's about?
No.
Is that the way things should be?
No.
Are we gonna fight?
Yes.
Are we gonna win?
Yes.
Are we gonna stop?
No.
Are we gonna fight?
Yes.
Are we gonna win?
Yes.
Are we gonna stop?
No.
Are we gonna fight?
Yes.
Are we gonna win?
Yes.
Are we gonna stop?
No.
Are we gonna fight?
Yes.
Are we gonna win?
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 Yes.
Are we going to win?
Yes.
Damn right.
Is our voice going to give out? Probably.
Are we going to lose our voice out here in 40-degree weather? Yeah!
I'm a music major and I'm not supposed to be yelling. It's sorry. It's worth it.
The People's Megaphone is open to all. If you've never used a megaphone before, this is an opportunity to do so.
Don't be shy. Come speak your mind. I did.
Up with neutrality!
Down with the FCC.
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 Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! All right, now that the crowd has grown, I have the same questions that we had before, but I want to see, how many students do we have here? Here. Good. Y'all are going to have to fight this for a really long time. That's the way it's going to work. So continue to fight. Make sure that you're in the streets. Make sure that you stay up to date on other movements and other things that are going on. Do keep in mind this is not the only political issue that's happening right now, as you might be aware. Raise your hand if you've been in the streets on other political issues.
Yes.
All right. Most of the hands. That's good. That's positive. All right. Up with equality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with equality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with access to information!
Down with the FCC!
Up with equal resources!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
I'm going to ask the same question I asked before on the heels of the question about students. Is anybody here, say, a blogger? Is anybody here a small business owner? Is anybody here interested in maybe becoming one of those things someday? Okay. Well then, naturally this could affect you, and it's good that you're out here and it's good that you're fighting back. You should be. Remember, this is the people's megaphone. Don't be shy. I'm sure. There you go. Thank you for the backup. Remember, of course, the people's megaphone is here for the people, not the person singular, but the people. Up with neutrality! Up with neutrality! Up with net 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 neutrality! Up with democracy! Up with democracy! Up with democracy! Up with net neutrality! Up with neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with equality! Up with the people! Up with education! Up with equal access to resources! Up with neutrality! Up with neutrality! When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do? When net neutrality is under attack! The people are with you! The people's megaphone is here!
Stand up, fight back!
Damn right.
Stand up!
Fight back!
Stand up!
Fight back!
Stand up!
Fight back!
Stand up!
Fight back!
Stand up!
Fight back! Fight back! Fight back! That's what I'm talking about. The people are with you.
The people united will never be defeated.
The people united will never be defeated. The people united
Will never be defeated!
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 We'll never be defeated.
Yeah! Back the blue!
How many, I'm curious, how many cougs we got?
Yeah!
Me too. This thing, right? How many owls we got? We got some owls. What else we got here?
HCC Eagles, come on!
HCC, what? That's what I'm talking about. What's up? Aggies work. What else we got? We got all right. There we go. So we got Aggies here. Yeah. we got Longhorns here. There you go. Okay, good. There you go. It's a standard classic Texas college cocktail of individuals. Yep. Raise your hand if you use the internet in college. Yeah. I know it's shocking. Or grad school, or PhDs, or work, or everyday life. Something like that. The people's megaphone is open. If you have something to say about net neutrality, if you have something to say about democracy, there are 2 megaphones here. They are indeed the megaphones of the people. One of them has my name on it so it can get back to me after the people are done using it. But generally speaking, if you want to say something today, this is the people's megaphone. It is an opportunity for you to do so. Silence. That's okay. We can all go home and talk on the internet about it while there's still time.
Yes.
Are we going to let them unplug the Ethernet cable of the world? No. Are we going to fight?
Yes.
Are we going to win?
Yes.
Are we going to stop?
No.
Are we going to fight?
Yes.
Are we going to win?
Yes.
Are we going to stop?
No.
Are we going to fight?
Yes.
Are we going to win?
Yes.
Are we going to stop?
No.
Are we going to fight?
Yes.
Are we going to win?
Yes.
Are we going to stop?
No.
Are we going to win?
Yes.
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 Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Up with neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
Have y'all seen that Jake Pye's giant Reese's mug that he's so happy about?
He ruined the Reese's Pieces.
I know, he ruined the Reese's Pieces brand. Is there nothing that guy won't touch? That son of a gun.
It's a conspiracy. What's the Hershey?
Sick burn. I like it. I feel like Ajit Pai probably used the internet to break down some barriers himself between him and other people, don't you think?
Yeah.
Seems like either that or he just knifed his way to the top of the Comcast attorney pile and then got himself onto the FCC. I don't know, I digress. This is the people's megaphone. If you have something to say about net neutrality, something to say about your personal story, something to say about what's going on, then please do engage. Please do feel free to take this from me politely. Okay, alright, I got it. It's cold out here. Kind of wave a little bit. When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When access to information is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When democracy is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When the First Amendment of the internet is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When students are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When cougs are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When owls are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
Aggies are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When Longhorns are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When students from any school are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
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 Stand up!
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 Fight back!
When the internet's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When democracy's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality's under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
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 Defend net neutrality!
Net neutrality!
Defend 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 net neutrality!
net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with 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 democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with the people!
Down with the FCC!
Up with education!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC! Woo! Yes!
A Jeep pie's ugly! 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 What? Yeah!
A Jeep pie is ugly!
Jeep pie is ugly! What? Jeep pie is ugly! Yeah!
Physically and mentally!
Yeah! Jeep pie is ugly! What?
Jeep pie is ugly!
What? I don't feel the least bit bad about doing that, by the way. Because his soul is ugly. It's the way that it is.
Does he have a soul?
You know.
They probably bought it already.
What does the Magic 8 Ball say?
Pay for.
Outlook cloudy. Yeah. Outlook not good, not so good. Remember, the People's Megaphone is open. I love this. What is this here? Clutch City, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Save the internet!
Yes!
We got a World Series, we got a really good basketball team, and now we're going to save the internet.
Yes!
Defend net neutrality!
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 Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with education!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
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 Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
So if you weren't here a bit ago, I want to make sure that we all are on the same page with this, because at some point, it won't be like super soon, but it's going to be kind of soon, because at some point, every single political action dissipates. Unless, you know, it's like a really extended one, right? But this is not like Occupy Verizon. So eventually tonight, everyone's going to go home and be warmer than you are right now. I don't know about you, but I'm from here. I'm cold. But that's okay. Here's what you could do. One, make sure that you're calling your reps. Raise your hand if you know who your house rep is. If you don't, that's okay. You can find out really, really quickly, okay? You also have two senators. One of them is named Ted Cruz. The other one's named John Cornyn.
Oh my God!
All right. Now,
not anything better.
both of these senators are not on our side. The people are on our side. Senators, not so much. And the people are supposed to represent, or the senators are supposed to represent the people. But I can tell you for a fact that they're not doing their job right now.
Woo!
Do we accept that?
No!
Call their office and tell them we don't accept that.
Yes!
Make sure you call their office. Now, I'm going to give you some tips on this because I do this all the time. Seriously, all the time. There are like 7 or 8 different field offices for each senator across the state of Texas. If you're having trouble getting through to the Houston office or the Washington, D.C. office, you can call any office. You are a constituent of theirs. They have to listen to you. They have to hear your voice. It is their job to do that. And there is someone on the other end of that. Call all the offices. And there is someone on the other end of that phone. And if they're not talking to you, they're doing the bidding of the senator. And that means that they're taking away access to the internet and other things that are horrible, okay? Or doing other things that are horrible. So make sure that you call them. Make sure to voice your opinion. Make sure to weigh in. If you are kind of an introverted person and you're not so good on the phone and you don't really like that much, I understand that. But make sure to call.
Resist bot.
Resist bot is another. Yeah, resist bot is another. Anybody heard of resist bot? You can fax your senators, you can fax your house reps through resist bot. It's a great tool. make sure to contact your representatives because, and here's what you can say to them, they did an open comment session on the FCC board to hear, quote unquote, from the people. But knowing the internet and people who don't know the internet and therefore can't filter this out, most of the comments were from bots. There were bots that apparently don't want us to have control of the internet because, I don't know, the robots want to take it over. Whatever. Point is that was a poisoned public comment session. And that's what you can say to your representatives. Delay the vote that's going to take place on December 14th. Do not vote on whether or not you are going to roll back net neutrality based on the opinions of a bunch of robots. Your constituents are not robots. They're people. I'm one of them. And that's why I called your office. So who's going to call their reps this week and make sure to say that?
Yes!
Make sure that you weigh in with them. Weigh in every day if you have to. Make sure to call your representatives. If you have trouble with that, or if you just want a nifty tool to be able to do it, we use one called Amplify. And we're going to post it in the event on. How many people found out about the event through Facebook? How many do we have there? Wow, how about that? How many found out by going to the national website? How many found out by email? How many found out because someone just told them? Wow, I can't figure out where this one came from. That's okay.
People talk.
We will post, listen, we will post it on the Indivisible Houston blog. We'll post an immediate post that shows you how you can get involved and make sure that you can have access to Amplify if you choose to use it. It is a nifty tool that indexes all the phone numbers from your reps, gives you actions every single week. It also shows you scripts and backgrounds and all that different stuff so that you can easily just pull it out of your pocket, look at it, hit a number, call them, and weigh in. It's that simple. So if you don't even want to look up your rep's phone number, we have something for that too. And it's, it depends on us having free access to information instead of it being cut off from us as the FCC wants to do. The point is, make sure to call your representatives because that FCC open comment session was poisoned by robots. It was not the voice of the people. So when we dissipate, which I'm not getting quite ready to do yet, and I don't think anybody else does either, because it looks like we've all started to huddle together and get a little bit warm. And why should we leave when we all started to get a little bit warm? But make sure that you do that, because when we leave here today, the fight isn't over. And eventually, we're all going to have to leave here today, because that's the way that most political actions work, right? So make sure that you contact your representatives, make sure that you weigh in with your representatives, and make sure to continue to weigh in with your representatives. And if they don't do what you want them to do, then what are you going to do in November of 2018? What are you going to do?
Vote them out!
What are you going to do?
Vote them out!
What are you going to do?
Vote them out!
What are you going to do?
Vote them out!
What are you going to do?
Vote them out!
What are you going to do?
Vote them out!
That's damn right. Because this is a democracy, and if you fight for it, we can keep it as a democracy. And this is a battle, of course, on the front of democracy, and it's one that you defend by weighing in with your reps and making sure to pressure them. Pressure your representatives. You are their boss.
Yes!
Make sure they hear from you. Defend net neutrality!
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 Up with net neutrality!
Up with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up with the internet!
Down with the FCC!
Up with education!
Down with the FCC!
Up with access to resources!
Down with the FCC!
Up with net neutrality!
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 Down with the FCC!
Streaming. What's that? Is that streaming on YouTube? Facebook Live. I out of touch with Facebook.
and I'm not letting this happen without a fight. The internet is too important for us to sit back and let it become corporatized like every other mass media form in our society. The internet is the last bastion for free speech, and it is the ultimate democratizing tool that humans have created. So it should be no surprise to us that Ajit Pai and his corporate lawyers have decided that they want to take it away. But we're not going down without a fight. Millennials are done not being politically active. We are ready to finally begin seizing the moment. All right, what are we going to do tomorrow? We're going to call our senators. We're going to call our representatives. But what are we going to do a year from now? We're going to vote. What are we going to do 10 years from now? We're going to keep voting. Our political efficacy does not end today. It starts today. Where are my millennials at? It's time to get active. We're done being the inactive generation. It's time to get active politically. Today is where it starts. This is the battle that starts that fight. This is where we begin, not where we end. This is not where the internet dies. This is where the fight to protect the internet starts taking place.
Yes!
I got it.
The people's megaphone is open if you have something to say. If you want to say two things, you can do that too.
Just press the button.
Just press the pull the button on the handle there. There you go.
There we go. The cool thing about net neutrality, it's the easiest thing to advocate for. Everyone uses Google. Everyone uses YouTube. And you know what? Even your parents use YouTube and Google. Your grandparents use YouTube and Google. And you know who loves being politically active and calling their senators? Old people. Call your mother. Call your aunt. Call your dad who doesn't know how to get the remote to work because they'll call their representative. Ajit Pai is ugly!
Ajit Pai is ugly!
Ajit Pai is ugly!
Ajit Pai is ugly!
Down with the FCC!
Up with the internet!
I want to say something.
Oh, just making sure this works. So, I don't know if you guys watched this video of Ajit reacting to like the tweets that they were going against him. You all saw the video? It was total cringe. It was infuriating to me when I saw it because the only tweets that he was talking about were like, oh my gosh, he's like nonsense. He wasn't even reacting to the actual claims that we were doing, to the facts that he wants to take away the internet for us. And that to me was enough for me to just come here and stand up and use the megaphone because we are tired of this. We are tired of people telling us that we don't stand for nothing when here we are in the cold trying to defend the internet, not just for you or me or for everyone in America. So please take advice on what everyone is saying. Don't stop today. Do it tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. We have to tell our Congress and all the people that we know that the internet as we know it is in danger. And it is up to us, including every person that's holding the sign, the camera, the people driving, it's all up to us to stand up for the internet and net neutrality. Woo! Thank you.
Pi is worse than parking at UH. Yes! Pi is worse than parking at UH.
Let's not say things we can't take back.
I know, right?
No, he's a lot worse though. He's like a lot worse.
Oh my gosh.
It's gotten bad though, huh?
Well, I don't have a car, so
the people. Thank you very much. Defend the internet.
Yes.
Catch up with us. We're at indivisiblehouston.org.
Oh, thank you.
Please catch up with us and stay engaged and stay involved. We're out here quite often on this and other issues. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you for coming up. Bullhorn. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, because it's a.
Bullhorn.
Oh, here. No
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all.
I'm very frozen.
Oh, okay.
Oh my gosh, too many things.
I know, right?
I know. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm going to tag on to what the gentleman before, I don't know, 2 speakers ago said about getting active. It is our time, absolutely, and I don't know if you guys know what the importance of December 11th is as far as elections. Does anybody know what date that is?
People who are that age, you mean, not active.
No, nobody. Okay, that's the last day you can file to run for an office.
Great to see this.
How many of you are registered voters here in the Houston area?
Yeah.
Do you know who your precinct chair is?
Yeah.
You do? One person? Okay. If you don't know your precinct chair, they're not doing their job. So even if your precinct has a chair, you can run for that. You can get your friends and family in your neighborhood out. And the last day to register for that is December 11th. If you are interested, I will absolutely talk to you about that personally. The precinct chair is the lowest elected position you can hold here. It's unpaid, it's not glamorous, but it gets people out to vote. And you can vote with it, or you can do it with the Democratic Party, and the Republican. Whatever, it's your choice. If you are interested, though, please consider it. There's also some Texas leg seats that don't have a Democratic opponent. I know that's a lot to take on, but people are getting motivated, and we need to do that. Absolutely. So consider it. And if you're not eligible to run for a precinct chair in this area, but you do live in this area because you're attending college or whatever, consider getting involved with a local party. It's the only way that we get people out. People trust your word. They know you personally. And when you say, this is what we need to get out for, that's who they're going to listen to. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you as well.
How you doing, Al?
Oh, you can also call this number for your rep or your senators and tell them that you want particular offices.
Yes.
Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Up with the neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with democracy! Up with equality! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with opportunity! Up with democracy! Up with net neutrality! Up with the internet! Up with America! Up with the people! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with education! Up with access to resources! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Down with Verizon!
Up with net neutrality.
That works too. The people's megaphone is always open. If anybody else has things to say, then this megaphone is open for you. If you want to just tweet about it later, that's okay too. But this is an opportunity to use a megaphone to say things to a group of people who see eye to eye with you, like 70% of the American public does. Defend net neutrality! 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 Up with 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 universities! Up with universities! Up with universities! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Up with democracy! Up with equality! Up with opportunity! Up with net neutrality! And then they know what you're chanting about. Political action 101. Woo! Defend net neutrality! 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 Raise your hand if you have a friend in another city and you stay in touch with them using the internet. Raise your hand if you've met people in other cities using the internet. Raise your hand if you've made meaningful connections using the internet. All right. Make sure to tell your congressional representatives about those meaningful connections. Now, one thing that they're going to try to say to you, and one thing that Ajit Pai, it's true, will try to tell people is that this is not a matter of cutting off access, but it is. Because the bottom line is that right now, by doing away with Title I and Title II regulations, they'll be moving it from moving regulation of and protections, we should say, of the internet under the FTC. Now, the FTC handles all sorts of stuff, and unfortunately, they're not going to have the clout to do anything to keep big telecom off your butt and big ISPs off your internet, and therefore they can choke your internet as they wish. Verizon and Comcast and all the rest of them, which means that they can slow it down, they can chop it up, they can repackage it, and of course they can have their will with access to resources of the American people and of the people in general and of the people around the world. And that's not okay. So if the congressional intern or staffer on the other side says to you, this won't restrict your internet access, this will simply recategorize who regulates and protects your internet access, you say, no! That's not true. You're lying to me. Because it's not true. Then make sure to fight them on these things. Because they think they can print out a couple of talking points and then get people to go away. Are we going to go away? No! Are we going to fight? Yes! Are we going to stop? No! Are we going to win? Yes! Are we going to go away? No! Are we going to fight? Yes! Are we going to stop? No! Are we going to win? Yes! 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 Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Up with net neutrality! Down with the FCC! Up with net neutrality! Down with the FCC! Up with net neutrality! Down with the FCC! Up with democracy! Down with the FCC! Up with opportunity! Down with the FCC! Up with equality! Woo! The people are with you. The people united will never be defeated. 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 United will never be defeated. And if I turn out the voice, will never be defeated. Save net neutrality! 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 Up with net neutrality! Down with the FCC! 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 Defend net neutrality! 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 Up with net neutrality! Down with the FCC! Up with democracy! Down with the FCC! Up with opportunity! Down with the FCC! Up with equality! Down with the FCC! Defend net neutrality! 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 The people's megaphone is open. Everybody's like, hey, we can spend on that for like an hour.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's involved.
Things to say?
Thank you.
You're heading out? Thank you for fighting for freedom and equality.
Thank you.
So when I was in college, it was dial-up internet.
Whoa! Stay in touch with us. Indivisible Houston. We're going to be fighting this for a long time. Stay in touch with us.
I'm plugged in.
Okay, cool.
I will always talk for you, Daniel.
What's that? Oh, thanks, Al. There you go.
I will always do some of the talking. I have a big mouth.
There you go.
Y'all get to listen to me several times. Hey, do you guys like my scarf?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Do you? You like the ears?
Yeah.
I learned that on hand lettering. I learned how to change the oil on my car. So it's critical to us on so many different levels, isn't it? Like, it's insane how many aspects of our life that we rely on the internet for. But there's something else that I want to talk about. I also organize with a group called Houston Handmaids. You might know of the visual. We our group is kind of based on the Handmaid's Tale, so we hang out with these bitchin' red robes, and usually it's hotter than hell because it's Houston, but this would be an optimal time for them. If you've read the source material, The Handmaid's Tale, you know that starts with a lot of disinformation, right? That's how the government of Gilead and whatnot gains control. One of the things that I think about when I worry about net neutrality is if you control the information, you control the people. And that's terrifying. We already have a huge issue when it comes to sowing seeds of distrust in our media thanks to our president. Because anything can be declared fake news. So we already have an information problem coming from the top. We cannot let this continue to happen. We cannot let somebody else choose the information that we are privy to, because when we do, we become the stooges, we are totally controlled, and we have no idea how close to the edge we will be if somebody else chooses what information we have access to. So please, 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 if you take anything away from this, call your senators, call the FCC, call everybody, and call your friends and tell them to call, because we cannot allow this to happen.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Woo!
Save the internet.
Save the internet! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Defend net neutrality! Up with 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 net neutrality! Woo. Woo. Is the love of democracy keeping everyone warm? Good. Good to hear.
Here, I'll do a chant if you want to. Trying to multitask.
It's the spirit.
Yeah.
When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back!
When the open internet is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our basic internet rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When net neutrality is under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
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 Yeah!
Shut it down.
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up with democracy!
Down with the FCC!
Up for net neutrality!
Down with the FCC!
Up for democracy!
Down with the FCC!
I don't know what else to chant.
Yeah!
What do we want? An open internet! When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Open up the internet!
When do we want it?
What do we want?
When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
And if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
If we don't get it,
shut it down! Not the internet, though.
Not the internet.
the street. It's the streets.
oh my goodness, thank you. That's wonderful. Those will be delighted.
We've seen the messages. It's good to see these things up close. Like,
Got several dozen out here, probably 60 at the height of this action, I would say. Out here defending net neutrality and the open internet. Fighting for freedom and justice and equality and liberty and all those different things. And the internet, to put it more plainly. Defend net neutrality!
Defend net neutrality!
This group here that he came to be a part of. This group here, he don't want to talk to me no more. He wants to be a part of you. Now, I'm going to be a part of all of you.
Hello.
Hey, guys. Hello. You want to save the internet? Why don't you save a motherfucking homeless man sleeping on the street because your government put me there? You want to save the internet? Why don't you save that pregnant girl right down the street? And you are 25 cents. And you, Lord, you people want to save the internet? Save water! Save water!
Not on our account. Not on our account.
On their account?
Not on our account.
Nah, I ain't on your shit. I'm a man on the motherfucking street.
Relax.
You on the street. What
relax, brother.
We can fight for more than one cause, that's for sure.
You're right.
We talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
So I'm going to talk to all of you. Know me.
If you'd like to go down to City Hall and discuss homelessness, and you can see that there's a good cause for that as well. And you should.
I'm not agitated.
He's not bothering us. He's not bothering us.
We're listening to him. It's okay.
He's allowed to say what he wants.
Oh, no. I have absolutely no problem with what they're talking about. I have no problem with what I have.
I told my mom, and she's like, would you like to?
No, again, for the camera, I'm not a part of
He's allowed to say what he likes. And the internet allows us to show people that people are out on the streets. Defend net neutrality! 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 Up with 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 an open internet! Up with democracy! Up with the internet! Up with the internet! Cats are taking off the internet. Occupy! Stop the lies! 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 Up with net neutrality! Down with FCC! 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 Up with democracy! Down with FCC! Up with net neutrality! Down with FCC! The people are behind you. Woo! Woo! This is an open question. Have these actions been organized on your campus if you're still on one? Have these actions been organized on your campus? Have there been net neutrality actions on the campus that you're on? You know who will plan them? You! You. Yes! That's how these things happen. Take pictures of today's actions. Yes. Yes. Are you going to share them on the internet? Yeah. Are you going to put them on Twitter? Yes. If you hashtag and stop the FCC, if you tag Indivisible Houston, which is Indivisible HOU, we will escalate them, elevate them, amplify them, whatever the correct word is. Retweet them. That's what I'm looking for. That's the one that you do on Twitter. Make sure to stay involved with us. And I say that not because I want a head count, but more along the lines of the more of a head count there is, the more that people pay attention. The more that people pay attention, the more pressure that there is. And the more that people change their mind about the issues. Thank you for defending net neutrality. Thank you. Woo. Defend net neutrality. 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 Up with net neutrality. Down with the FCC! Up with net neutrality! 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 Down with the FCC! Up with the open internet! Down with the FCC! Remember to call your reps! Yes! They need to know.
I don't know who's those on. I'm about to head out myself, so.
I have so many signs.
Net neutrality signs or no?
I have no net neutrality. We're going to do this again?
Probably.
Well,
There's another protest tomorrow.
Can I just say something?
What, is there another one tomorrow?
Yeah, this here at 6 o'clock.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's okay. Don't be shy.
All right. Hey, if y'all had fun, let's do it again tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Yes. Yes.
Who's with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here. Yes.
All right.
In addition to sending your pictures out online, tag the news organizations. ABC, NBC, KHOU, Houston Public Media. And if you want to go the extra mile and get bonus points out of it, you can use the internet to look up their email addresses, and you can send all your pictures and video to their newsroom. If you're home in the next hour and do that, it may wind up on the 10 o'clock news. And of course, if it winds up on the 10 o'clock news, then more people hear the term net neutrality. And if more people hear the term net neutrality, then more people Google it using the internet. And if more people Google it using the internet, then more people are aware of the cause, which means that we can save the internet. We can stop the FCC from trampling the rights of others and free access to information. We can win the net neutrality battle. Are we going to fight?
Yes!
Are we going to win?
Yes!
Are we going to stop?
Yes!
Are we going to fight?
Yes!
Are we going to win?
Yes!
Are we going to stop?
Yes!
Are we going to fight?
Yes!
Are we going to win?
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 Yes!
Woo! Woo! All right.
Hey, so you got a business card or?
Yeah, stay in
phone
touch.
number?
Come, stay in touch. If anybody wants one, here, I'll give you one. Stay in touch. Let's organize. The people united will never be
Try
defeated.
something on Rice's campus.
There you go. Love to. I hope I have enough of these. I hope I don't have to like tear them in half and share. But we could do it the old-fashioned way. There you go.
There you go.
Use our fancy technology.
I know, right?
There you go.
Social media.
Yeah, use.
Thank you. I got one.
Holler at me on Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and everything. YouTube. Anyway, here you are.
And before I leave, I just want to
Sure. Thank you.
Oh, I already got one.
Oh. I'll tell you what. Do you have 2 seconds to say that again?
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, say it.
Sure.
Here, pick up a megaphone, the people's megaphone. Listen to this. This is another perspective on this. I'm glad that you said that to me. Pull the trigger and speak close.
Hi everyone. My name is Jessica.
Hi, Jessica.
And I was born in America, but my family is actually from China. My parents immigrated here for graduate school, so most of my family is still in China. And I just wanted to say thank you for coming out here. This is a really big issue, and just, you know, having contact with family and friends in China, I understand the importance of having a free and uncensored internet whenever I have to, you know, message or talk to family and friends back in China. I always have to avoid certain topics or not talk about the government in a certain way to make sure they don't get in trouble. So it's a big deal and it's a big issue. And the fact that you guys are coming out here and showing your support for something even in this 40-degree weather is really important, and I just wanted to thank you everyone for coming out.
Woo! Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
Keep fighting, y'all.
You too. Let's do it.
Great job leading. I really appreciate it.
The people lead their own. It's their megaphone. Remember, the internet allows us to spread our word to other people. So if you have things to say today, you can go live with the 2 people on Facebook Nation who are still with us. Oh no, it's 1 person. Oh, it's no people. Look at that. The point is that you can continue to fight, and remember, spread the word. And I was serious. If you want to go the extra mile and get extra credit, send your pictures this evening to the news stations. Tell them that there was an action in downtown Houston. Let them know.
And there's going to be another one tomorrow.
There will be another one tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I didn't even know. Look at that. Tweet it out if you want. If you do want to stay in touch with me, I don't know. We had a mock go there for here. If you want to stay in touch, I would love to take political actions, not just on this, but on other things as well.
I have one. I just want to shake your hand. All right, thanks for organizing. I'll be here tomorrow if you do this again.
We'll continue to fight it. We've had 3 or 4 different actions this week. Something I want to say very quickly is I just want to make this clear. Our goal in terms of what our organization does, and the reason that we're out here is for net neutrality tonight, but we're out here and we're out in City Hall and we're in front of congressional offices all the time. And I want to tell you why, and I want to tell you how we fit into the framework of this so that we can stay in touch with you, and if you ever need us, then we can show up for you too, because all kinds of things can happen to the people no matter what. No matter who you are, something can befall you. We know, based on the healthcare fight, that if you are unfortunate, if you win the negative health lottery, your life can change in a snap. And we know that our healthcare system does not back you up. And we know that it's under further attack right now. Raise your hand if you're in grad school right now. We got any grad school students? Okay, we got one over there. If you have a waiver, they're going to try to tax it right now. Last night, we were in City Hall, 75 of us fighting against the tax scam. The point that I'm getting at is this. Indivisible Houston focuses on local area legislators so that we can kill bad bills and defend good ones. I'll say that again. We focus on Houston area legislators so that we can